Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this video today, we're going to be creating the game Wordle in PowerShell. So if you don't know what Wordle is, this game acquired by the New York Times. And here are the rules. You have a word that you have to guess that is 5 characters long. You have 6 tries to guess it. If you have a letter in the correct place, you get a green background for the letter that's placed correctly. If it's incorrectly, you get a yellow background, and if it's incorrectly, you get a gray background saying that this letter is not in the word at all. And you have 6 tries to guess it. So let's give that a shot for today's Wordle. Let's say plant. All right, so N is in the correct place. T is not. Yes, good job. All right, so let's see, we guessed it. So there you go. Let's open a folder with Visual Studio Code. So here I already opened a folder. I called it Wordle. We're going to create a file that's called startwordle.ps1. And this is how the code goes, basically, roughly. So that's the pseudocode. So we need to load the words in English because PowerShell doesn't know English. We're going to we need the 5-letter words only. We're going to pick a random word. We're going to ask the player to guess the word. We're going to check if the word is valid, right? So it's an English dictionary and 5 letters long. We're going to check that the letters to make sure that they are in the right place. Then we highlight which ones are in correct position or in the word. And then we're going to repeat step 3 through 6 until we guess is correct. Or there's too many guesses, which is 6 guesses. Right, 6. So, all right, so the first thing we need is this file, word.txt. The way I got it is here, right here in this repository. I'm going to put a link in the description below. I'm actually going to copy this. I'm going to, okay. We want words.txt. If you want your own language, you don't have to do it in English. You can get your own language. If you want French, if you want Spanish, if you want Chinese, Mandarin, whatever you want. Portuguese, go ahead. So what you do, if you click download, this is going to open the file, and it's a big file, and it's a little annoying. What you want to do is right click and do save link as, and then you save it locally, and it's going to be called words.txt, just like this one. As you can see, there's a lot of words in here, and a lot of those words are not even in English. Well, they're in English, but they're not really like words, like 18 point. I don't know where those are sourced. I did not read. It's probably in the README, right? They're probably just taken from books and things like that. Right, these, we don't want these. So let's start. So let's load the words in memory. So words, let's copy this just so that we can keep track of what we're doing because it's important to keep track. 1, so equals get content. And we want words.txt, right? So this gives us all the words. One, it gives us an array of words, but like we said, we want only 5 letters. So we're going to do a where object, and we say the current item that length is equal to 5. It's only 5 letters. And as we saw, there's this problem here that they have words that have numbers and other special characters. We don't want those. There are also words that are like uppercase, names, Abigail, Agatha. We don't want these either. So what we're going to do is we're going to say it's a length of 5 and the word C match. And so C match is like match, except C match is case sensitive match, whereas if you do match with no C, it's going to be case insensitive. So case, and now we want a regular expression, which is going to be A through Z. And if we do it just like this with a plus, right? This is going to say, hey, you have letters in there. Correct. But it also matches words that have a number, right? Any amount of letters, as long as you have one letter, it matches. So what we're going to do is say that you're going to have letters lowercase a through Z repeating 5 times. And this will give us the words that are 5 letters long that have only letters. So begin with a letter and repeat 5 times. And see, this 5 comes back multiple times. So what we're going to do, because it's a little annoying to repeat 5 multiple times, and we're probably going to have it somewhere else, what we're going to say is word length equals 5. Now we're going to take this word length and we're going to say word length here and here. Right? So this is going to give us any word length. So if you do words, 0 through 10, let's print those. Run and print those. So this file is huge, so it's going to take a little bit to load. What you can do is preload all the words that you want that match, right? That are proper words, and save that, and then you will have way fewer words that have to be loaded into memory when you run. But for this exercise, we're going to keep it because then we can do 6, we can do 10, we can do whatever. I'm not 100% sure that all of these are actual words. We'll just assume that they are, right? And we can do also 6, and there we are, 6. So that's very practical because then if you want to do like long words, like I know people challenge themselves to have much longer words, you could do it however you want. All right, now we have the words. We're going to pick a random word. So the way we do this is word to guess is going to be words, right, which is an array. And now we need to pick a random index in this array. So how do we do this? We use get random with a minimum of 0, maximum of words that. So this will give us a random integer between 0 and how many words we have in our list. So now we need to ask the player to guess the word. So this is simple. We're going to say guess equals read host. We're going to give it a prompt, guess the word. Now we have our guess. Now we want to check if the word is valid. So if the guess dot length equals word length, right? And the list of words contain our guess, then we're good to go. But now what do we want to do? Like if they guess the wrong word, we probably, at this point, we probably want to do our loop, right? Because we're repeating, we probably want to do our loop so that they can guess again. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, we're going to keep track of how many guesses they have done, equals 0. We're going to say while, actually, you know what? We're going to do a do while loop for this one. We're going to evaluate our condition at the end while guesses is less than 6. Less or equal to 6, right? So here we're going to say, all right, you made one guess because it's correct, right? We're going to increment the guess because this is correct. If this is incorrect, we're going to be like, hey, guess again, right? And we're going to keep track of it. We're not doing a for loop where we count from 0 to 6 or whatever, because you can have incorrect guesses and you can have unlimited incorrect guesses. So we don't want to increment until we know that the guess is a valid word. All right. So here, let's test this. Let's see that this is working properly. Let's print what the word to guess is so we can, troubleshoot. So write host. So in theory, if I guess the right word, so if I guess an English word 6 times, it will stop after the 6th time. If I guess the wrong word that is not English, it will keep counting until I guess a word that's English. That's our word right here, twint. So string. So see, this is incorrect because it's not 5 characters, it's 6. String, 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 string. All right, see, now we have more than 6. 3 and 3, 6. All right, so this worked. It allows me to guess unlimited. Now, if I say sting, sorry, I keep trying to do sting, sting, sting. Now, this is the 6th time. It should, no. All 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's incorrect. That's 7. 7 right here. So less or equal to 6. You want strictly less than. You know what? We're gonna write the guess number here. Try it again. Now, also one thing we need to say is like if the guess is correct, right? If it's exactly the word we want to be like, hey, ding ding, you're good. Oh no, I did the wrong thing. Guesses. All right, we'll try this later. So let's do a little bit more here before we keep going. So this is, like I said, so correct guess equals false and not correct guess. If the guess is equal to word to guess, then correct guess equals true. All right, now we can actually try this. Okay, next, while we wait for this to load, we want to do these 2 steps. Now, I'm keeping this here because if we have the correct guess right here, we want to be able to highlight all the letters green, right? So the highlighting will happen whether or not you have the correct guess, right? So test, T, sting, 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 and we'll stop at 5. Let's see, we, boom, good, correct guess. So now we have to check the letters. And now checking the letters in a string is a little bit more difficult. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a little function for ourselves. I'm going to put it right here. That allows us to easily check letters in a string. So let's say function get characters. Parent block. I don't need the commented byting. True. It's a string. And this is a word. And then what we're going to do is prepare our result, which is going to be an array. And for I equals 0, I less than word dot length. So we go over each character in the string, and then I made I because it's like that's iterator. That's just what we usually use for loops. That's the basic one. Then you go to JK, LM, and OP. So I is the first one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to append to our result the substring that is at character I, that is the length 1. And so what this does is if we have, for example, the word test, let's just do sting. What this is going to give us at the end is an array like this. S, T, I, N, G, right? Now we have an array. We don't have to do substring. We don't have to do anything else. What we do is we just get that array and then we can work from that. And then actually we need to return it. All right, let's collapse this, get characters. And now what we're going to do is here, word to guess, we're actually going to save this word to guess chars. There you go. Now we save this because this is always the same thing. We're going to check against these letters, but we don't have to repeat this operation. It's always going to be the same result. So we can just keep it outside the loop. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our guess. Now that we have it, we're going to say guess chars equals get characters word guess. Cool. So now we have the array, and we can use, again, this contains method to see if a letter is inside without having to really go and do a loop and check on each combination of letters. So that makes it much easier. So now let's make sure that each letter is in the right place. So for I equals 0, I is less than guess chars, and I plus plus. Now here, because the word length are the same, right? We could also have compared, could also go over this array. Same length, same everything, but we're using guess jars for this one, actually. And here that's that count. Count because it's an array, length because it's a string. Now what we have to do is check if the letters is in the correct place. If word to guess chars contains the letter, so actually, you know what? I know I'm going to use this again. So we're going to do this. And now I'm going to use it multiple times. So we're going to put it like this so we don't have to address it every time, right? So if it contains a letter, then we're good. And so what we do is we say correct place equals false, right? We always assume it's false and then we set it to true. And so if at the same index they're the same letter, then we say that it's a correct place. So now we're here, we know it's the correct letter. And what we're not going to do here, because I've tried it before, is highlighting those letters gray. It works well on like white to gray, but it doesn't work so well when you have different colors, like when you have black on PowerShell. So we're not going to highlight these letters. We're just going to leave them as is. So all we have to do is we're just going to highlight the letter now. So now we know whether if it's true, it's green. If it's false, it's yellow, right? So now what we have to go do is take these inputs and we're going to have to write over these inputs, right? This is not something that's very commonly done in PowerShell, especially for beginners, but I'm going to show you how you do this. So there's this variable called host. And what this host variable represents is this terminal right here, the console. And it has multiple properties, one of which is the user interface, right? And you get also the raw user interface, which is all the values for the interface, the colors at each position and all that stuff. So what we want to do is we want to use the cursor position. Now, what this means is here, see right here at the bottom, there's a cursor position right here in our console. And what we want to do is we're going to start writing at the previous line here, right? We want to write on this T. This T is correct for twig, right? If we have sting, let's go back to sting because that's one that's incorrect. What we want to do is go here and say S, not correct. So don't do anything. T, correct. So we're going to put a yellow because it's correct, but not in the right place. I, incorrect. N, incorrect. G, correct and right place. So we want to put it green. Right, but we want to write over this input. So how are we going to do this? And that's where the cursor is, because we want to put our cursor on each of these letters and write that letter with a background, the proper background. One thing that happens when you do write host, right? So you write your thing, your input, and you press enter, and it's going to go here to that first character, right? So what we want to do is move this cursor one up. And this is 0, 0, right? Top left corner is 0, 0, and then 0, 1, and then this is 1, 0, 1, 1, right? So this is a coordinate grid. So we want to move this one row, so the Y position -1, and then we want to go all the way over here to the S position. So how are we going to do that? Well, that's where this cursor position is. That's what we use it for. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the position to a new place. Cursor position equals, and the property is like this. It's an X and and the Y equals where or triple X is just the number. This is a hash table. So the Y we know it's just wherever we are right now because we pressed enter, right? So when we press our guess, we press enter, we go to this new line, position 0. And so this one is easy. We're going to take this. Again, we're going to take the Y position and we're just going to do -1, right? So now we're 1 up. We're at that 4. Now, how do we go to the right? Well, we have to count how many characters we have to move. But that's annoying, right? Because here, see, I started with guess the word, then I added guesses. Then maybe I want to say, like, put emojis or whatever in here, and it's just going to make it complicated. So what we're going to do is say this. Take this out. We're going to say guess prompt equals this. Actually, here, I just, slight change. I want to put this to 1 because then it doesn't start at 0. Guess the word. And as you can see, I don't have the semicolon and I don't have the space, so it's +2. Sorry. So here what we're going to do is we're going to say it's the guess prompt dot length, right? So that brings us to at the end of word, right? So that brings us all the way here. And now we have 2 more characters to go. plus 2. And it's telling me there's an error. What is my error? Actually, you know what? This actually wants. I want to put this here. So the cursor position sometimes doesn't work properly. And that's when you see this bug in PowerShell where you, and I'm probably going to be able to reproduce it right here. Sting. See, now it goes back and it writes up. Sting. Up. Right? So we're not done, clearly, because we're missing a few things. But see, it goes back and it writes. It writes over the text that's already there. I've seen it happen. I think it's struggling because I think this is all correct. All right, so now we're here. We have moved our character, and all we have to do left is write. So we're going to write the letter. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our color based on, so if correct place, then, you know what, we're going to say color equals yellow. If correct place, then color equals green. And now we're going to do write host. Simple enough. We're going to write the letter again, and we're going to write back, okay, from color to color. All right, now there's one thing that we're missing actually here. What we're missing here is this works fine for the first letter, but it doesn't work for the next letter. So what we're going to do is we're going to add I. Okay, now we're going to write the letter with the proper background, and this should highlight the letters properly. And when you do write host, right, unless you specify no new line, it will just go back to that new line again, and then we can just replace it. We don't have to keep track. We're just going to keep moving back up every time. That's a little inefficient, right? But it doesn't really matter. We would have to move the cursor every time anyway. Let's give that a shot. So ogive, I don't even know if that's a word. Is that even a word? Ogive. So, okay, so sting. So now what we would expect is the I to be highlighted as correct position, the G corrected as a incorrect position, and everything else as nothing. There we go. Plain. Okay, we'll give all green. Cool. So that's what we wanted, right? We're highlighting the letters. This is working properly. Nothing is going back up. Nothing like this is good. So we basically have the game done, right? One thing that the original game does that our game doesn't do is this. See, you have it on keyboard because it's also made to be played on the mobile phone. That says, okay, these letters are incorrect. And so you can't use them. But we don't really have that. The player would have to keep track of what letters are accessible and which ones are not useful. So instead of highlighting them gray because it's obvious which ones are not useful, what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of them and we're going to just display them right here for the user, the player to see. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep track of the incorrect letters because that's something we keep track across guesses. And here, so if it contains a letter, cool. If it doesn't, here, what we're going to do is incorrect letters plus equal letter. So once we're done with our processing all the letters, we've highlighted them the way we want to. Now what we're going to do is we are going to, actually, you know what? 7 is right here. What we're going to do is we're going to do the same idea as this, right? We're going to set our cursor position somewhere else. And this is not I, this is word length. And then we're going to say plus, I don't know, just give it a little buffer, 5 characters, right? We're going to go back just so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to start writing here, right here, and we're going to show the wrong letters. So write host, bad letters. We're going to say foreground color is red, right? And we're going to say no new line because then we can properly write after this. We may add the same color. See, I have an N, right? I have N here and N here. I don't want to display it multiple times. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to say this. What we're going to do is we're going to do sort object unique. All right, so this way we don't repeat the letters and we give them alphabetically, which really helps rather than when they came up. And now we're going to say for each letter in incorrect letters, write host letter, no new line. And then we're going to do write host, just a new line right here. Now in theory, when we run this, we should have our complete game, complete with the highlighting, the bad letters, and everything else. Now it still needs to be optimized a little bit. It's not too bad. So intro. So I like sting. All right, so G and S are incorrect, right? So this is good. TING is correct. So I know what the word is, but I want to see if I can try something else. Great. Okay, there's an R. So T R. See, so it's in order. I'm just trying to guess wrong guess. Um, Whatever. Intro. Ta-da! Correct. Maybe we want to put something that says, "Hey, good job, you guessed it." So maybe um, we're going to say if correct guess. We're going to put an else in case you have an incorrect guess. We're going to say, right host, good job, with a foreground color of green. And here what we're going to do, same thing except better luck next time. And we're going to say yellow or blue. Blue is nice. Okay. So now we'll have our thing. Let's try it. Now this is very annoying, the whole process of like repeating and playing it again and again and again. That's very annoying. Now we're going to address this right now. Good job. Cool. All right, so this worked. So now let's address this whole like, I want to play it again and again and again. So what I want to do here is I'm going to put it right here under the pseudocode. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it right here. We're going to put a param block. What I want is this. I want to be able to choose how long the word is going to be, right? And if I don't choose anything, I don't want to have to choose something. We're going to say the length is going to be 5 by default. Then we're going to say, we're going to do switch. We're going to say infinite, right? So if it's infinite, play again and again and again. Actually, I want to put it here. And here we're going to say guesses. Oops, this is an int. I want to say guesses equals 6, right? So I want to control how many guesses, because if I have a big word, maybe I want more guesses. Or if I feel like very challenged and I'm like, I'm going to challenge myself, I may want fewer guesses. So we can remove this. Okay. So we don't have to load the words again. We have them. And so this is where our infinite will come from, right? So we're going to say if, we're going to do, again, a do while. Do while infinite. Right, that's something done. Okay, cool. So there you go. So this is how it looks completed. Now, if I press play, this is going to use all the default parameters, which is going to not be infinite. And also, just keep in mind, we have a word to guess right here. So I'm going to comment it out so we can use this for troubleshooting if you want to do more troubleshooting. But here, what we're going to do is here, we're going to reuse this. I'm going to say infinite. Oh, we have a problem here. Why is it starting at 6? Oh, because I have guesses. All right, let's see. That's why you have to control. You have to Okay. Okay, so we have guesses. Oops. All right, can't get out. All right, I broke it. So cool. Guesses. So when I said guesses equals 1, I got the wrong one. Sorry. Guesses equals 1. Sorry. So it's going to be just because that's the convention for PowerShell. We're going to put it uppercase, start with an uppercase. And we want here. Cool. All right, so now this should work. Theory Control C should work too. Maybe here at the end we're going to do a, oh, let's see. Maybe it's a Mac thing. All right. Sting. Trust. Is that a word? Trust. Good job. Oh, I didn't play it infinite. Oh well, we get the idea. I don't think we have time to see if I can do it, but there you go. This is Wordle. Really, the key learning part here is this. And this is very important to learn because you may have to do um, programs, scripts that will, you know, overwrite. Like for example, you have progress, and you want to say, I'm going to have like 5 progress bars here for different things that are happening in parallel, but I can't really just like clear. The other solution is to clear the host and write over and rewrite everything. But what you could do is just put it in line and put your progress bars here, right? Keep writing over a bunch of text. And so now you know how to write anywhere in the console, however you want with this. So that's really the key learning piece of this. And yeah, I'll put the link to the repository in the description below so you can see the whole thing. And I won't put the words.txt. I won't put words.txt. You can find it yourself. I actually have a link right here where you can find it. Word.txt can be found here. And so, yeah, you can use that. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.